Good.
This is my mono red chaos deck, the commander being Heartless Hidetsugu. In the deck, we play a Dictate of the Twin Gods so that we can hopefully kill everyone all at once just by tapping and then responding by flashing out our Dictate. It will kill anyone who's at an even life total. Odd, they survive at 1 life. Unfortunate. And Neheb. Since Heartless deals the damage, Neheb will see that as damage taken by the opponent, and on your second main phase, you'll be receiving as much mana as he dealt the step prior. In the deck, we play our Chaos cards, such as Price of Glory, Burning Sand, Scrambleverse, Warp World, Possibility Storm, Own Machine, Grip of Chaos, Gate to the Aether, Wild Evocation, and I'm including Mage's Contest in here because no one expects the mono red counter spell. These cards are primarily here to cause a bit of confusion in the game, either slow it down or speed it up to my desire, and make it so that the board state is uneven in a sense, to cause disruption, while simultaneously helping this deck move along at a constant pace to get to its end goal. Its end goal, its win cons include the commander with a Dictate of the Twin Gods, Repercussion with either Blasphemous Act or Starve Extinction, so that whenever these deal when these deal damage to each creature, Repercussion will be dealing that much damage to the controller, usually killing everyone, excluding myself most of the time because of the low creature count in the deck. I also play Insurrection for that good old 1-2 punch. They play all their creatures, I play Insurrection, kill them with all their own creatures. And then Goblin Charbelcher in the deck. I run 27 lands in this deck, so that Charbelcher then becomes an actual threat during the game, where I can pay 3, tap it, and usually shoot something for like 10 damage, something or someone. The land base is pretty simple. We play crap ton of mountains. And then for our utility, it's the Battlements to give our commander haste, Handwire for the few creatures that are actually in the deck, Homeward Path for Scrambleverse, it's just not in our favor, Blighted Gorge to get in that last tick of damage, Nykthos, Mono Red, Maze, Can't Keep, Ancient Tomb, Forgotten Cave, and Valakut. As for the rocks to compensate for the 27 land count, we play a Mox Opal, Soul Ring, Dowsing Dagger, a Sculpting Seal, which usually just ends up copying Gilded Lotus or Thran Dynamo, our Pyromancer's Goggles, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Cold Steel Heart, Heart of Ramos, Fire Diamond, Chrome Mox, Gilded Lotus, and then our mana reducers, Ruby Medallion, Helm of Awakening, Primal Amulet, and the Immortal Sun. And then some extra accelerants being Braid of Fire and Koth of the Hammer with his first 2 abilities. We play some hate cards in here. I wouldn't consider them chaotic, but something to slow down faster decks so that we can keep a constant pace. Smoke for creature decks, Blood Moon for multicolored, Meekstone for just bigger creatures, Deceiver's Web to turn off utility lands, and Atolicness to dissuade decks that like to ramp a little too hard with lands. As for removal, we play fun Custody Battle. Preferably you play this on their commander so that they don't necessarily control their commander anymore, or if they do, they have to take turns. From the Ashes, which usually ends up actually accelerating this deck while slowing down other decks. Vaishya Heretic for repeated artifact destruction. Price of Progress usually just blows out most multicolored decks. Chaos Warp for getting rid of anything we need. And Shattering Pulse for repeatable artifact destruction. A sub-theme in this deck is coin flipping. So, of course, we play Carrick's Thumb, and with that, a Carpulsan Minotaur, so we can consistently be flipping coins and getting benefit with its 1 damage per 1 coin flip. Puppet's Verdict for instant speed board wipe, usually in my favor. Chance Encounter, so we can win off of it. Mana Clash for that early or even late game damage, always usually useful. Fiery Gambit, just good card for the deck, helps us draw more cards, untaps lands, takes care of a creature, but that's the least important mode on there. Boom Pile in this deck ends up being just a better Nevin Rolls disc. Impulsive Maneuvers to control combat, usually pushing it in our favor to either take no damage or whenever someone's swinging at someone else, double that damage. Planar Chaos, because countering stuff for free is always fun. And a Game of Chaos. This ends up being another very viable win con in the deck, especially with the Thumb. Being able to deal tons of damage all at once and gaining all that life back. Next is just good utility, artifacts and enchantments. Fidelka Nori for the Braid of Fire, so that we can actually use that mana. Orbs of Warding, primarily in there actually for the Grip of Chaos, so that we hopefully don't get hit by a lot of the stuff that the opponents are randomly casting. Sunbird's Invocation for just to add value on our stuff. Planar Bridge to get our more expensive stuff down. And Ashling's Prerogative, almost always naming Odd to give our commander haste. And then we have, for our card draw, it's just Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fate, Mind's Eye, Conqueror's Galleon, and the Humble Defector. Humble Defector is great. It adds nice value to the entire game, having players help each other or accelerating players who are farther behind so that they have more of a chance of actually playing the game. Then we have some miscellaneous spells for this, such as Radiate, so we can radiate our Game of Chaos, making sure everyone can play the game. Reverberate, just always useful. Gamble to find what we need and hopefully not just discard it. And a Burning Wish. We have an entire wish board for this deck, including Jockle Hops, Ruination, Past in Flames, Goblin Game, Winds of Change, Whims of Fate, Thieves Auction, and Obliterate. These are more cards to set people back to our level, or catch us up to other people, or just even out the playing field so that everyone's kind of on even footing. And last but not least is a Wildfire Eternal and a Fortune Thief. Fortune Thief helps us live through a lot of what we're doing, which is just lots of direct damage. And Wildfire Eternal allows us to cast stuff like Warp World turn 2. Yeah, that's the deck.